So the IRS releasing its figures for the Obamacare fines that are about to start coming. The tax agency says that if you haven't bought your Obamacare coverage, this is what you are looking at if you're an individual, $2,448 about. And families with 5 or more members could be looking at $12,000 and change in terms of the fines that they will have to pay if they have not signed up for coverage or if they don't have coverage outside of that. And there's a lot of growing confusion over all of this because the subsidies that the court has just laid out some decisions on may mean that you don't get a tax credit or a subsidy either if you're in a state that doesn't have its own state exchange. So Stuart Varney joins us now with a look at this. He is, of course, the host of Varney and Company on the Fox Business Network. So, Stuart, we've talked about the fines for a long time, and it looks like now things will be arriving in the mail.
Well, finally, we've got a dollar number. Okay, we got the firm dollar number from the IRS about the maximum fine that you could pay if you don't have health care insurance. It is a very, very big number. You could say that that is a scary number, too. $2,400 for an individual, $12,000 for a family of 5. Those are big numbers. However, there's a great deal of confusion about who pays it, when, and how it would be paid. Let's list the areas of confusion for a second. Number one, there's confusion over who is covered. A lot of people are in a state of limbo at the moment. They thought they'd signed up. Have they signed up? Confusion number one. Number two, there's confusion over these future subsidies because of these court rulings. Do you have a subsidy or don't you? If you don't get the subsidy, can you afford health care? If you can't afford it and you don't get it, you pay the fine. Confusion reigns. Number three, the fine, if it's levied, is supposed to be paid out of a tax refund. Supposing you don't get a tax refund, do you still pay the fine? And number four, there is growing anger because it is the IRS which is policing these fines, policing Obamacare, and they don't exactly have a great reputation at the moment. You add it all up, Martha, you've got chaos, confusion, resentment, and some very big potential fines.
I mean, you know, if it wasn't serious enough that it's a big number that some people may have to pay out, I mean, it would be laughable, Stuart, because the government has already said we don't have any way to verify income. So if you can't verify how much someone's making, how on earth do you know if they're below these numbers or above these numbers to find them in the first place? And as you point out, you know, people don't know whether they're getting subsidies or not. Do you actually think, you know, it would be shocking, actually, if after all of the missteps in this health care plan, if the one thing that they can get right is that they're going to start sending people fines?
Yes, I agree with you entirely. I think if we walked out onto the streets of New York right now and said, do you understand the situation with Obamacare? Are you covered? Are you not covered? How much are you covered for? Are you going to be fined or not fined? I don't think you'd find 1 in 100 who can give you a firm answer, yes or no.
No,
not one.
I agree. People say it all the time. I don't get it. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I mean, but you might get fined.
Can my last words be this?
Yes.
It's a mess, Martha.
That is your parting thought for this particular program on this Friday. It's a mess, Martha. We're going to have T-shirts made up for next week.
Varney, you want that on your tombstone or what?
It's a mess, Martha.
Nice
Oh, we'll see you, Stuart.
So